It's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for January 2023. So on January 12th, we have Mars, the ruler of our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, even our anger, finally going direct in Gemini energy. So let's do a little bit of a review, a little bit of a recap. We had Mars enter into the sign of the twins, Gemini energy, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of ideas. The twins mean that we're very dualistic and polarized on our choices, on our thoughts, on our perspectives, if you will. And the whole point of Gemini energy is to sit in those extremes and work our way to a common middle ground. So Mars, of course, who just wants to take action and make moves out in the external realm, was kind of cluster-effed, all up in that headspace. We had a lot to think about, and we had a lot to debate, and we were very torn on a lot of things, on, our passion projects, on our desires, on what deserved our time, our energy, our attention, on the way that we communicate and express ourselves. It was definitely a pressurized situation. Then we had Mars go retrograde on October 30th. So, a retrograde means that we're having to take all of the energy that we normally put out into the world, and we have to take it and internalize it. We have to move inward with it. So that doesn't feel good because, when you have a planet such as Mars who wants to aggressively pursue new ideas, new projects, new happiness, new pleasures, that isn't allowed to take action, you best believe that this is going to highlight and trigger a lot of agitation, a lot of frustration, even a lot of anger. So Mars doesn't typically spend this much time in any sign. So this has been a very, very long and difficult path for many of us. We have been lacking motivation, lacking the physical energy to do anything, lacking the clarity to even figure out whether or not we care about certain, passion projects, ideas, all kinds of things that we were very invested in. Suddenly, we just, turned off that desire, turned off that motivation. We got caught up in other things, and it hasn't been feeling so good. And we've constantly been changing our minds, Gemini being a mutable air sign, that is constant change. We're constantly debating things, new information pouring in, changing our perspective. It's really been a lot of frustration. So we have Mars now preparing to go direct. And this is going to be a huge blast of energy. And hopefully, if we've all done the work while Mars has been retrograde, then we should have a plan, should have a strategy of some sort, so that when we are gifted with this energy to go ahead and start asserting ourselves outward in the world, we know where we have to pour our time, energy, attention. We know the ideas, the projects that we want to pour into. We've identified what it is that we're excited and passionate about, and we're realizing our new mission to pursue happiness, to pursue our new desires. If you haven't done the work, then you're likely going to be running around like a chicken with its head cut off for the first little bit, which, is not advisable. However, with Mars now going direct, it means that this internalized journey that we've been sitting in, this cluster F of energy that we've been debating between, processing, sorting through, we get to do something with it now. We get to take this energy from the inner realm. We get to put it out in the outer realm. We get to start taking action on a path, on a direction, on a choice, on a decision that we have been very torn over for quite some time, and honestly, far too long. So, what does this mean for us? Well, it means that we're going to have a sudden jolt of energy. And not that I want to get too ahead of myself here, but when Mercury goes direct here next week, they're both going direct at the same degree. We have Mars going direct at 8 degrees, 8 minutes of Gemini. We have Mercury going direct next week on the 18th at 8 degrees, 8 minutes of Capricorn energy. What do we get when we have air energy, Gemini, and earth energy, Capricorn? We get the ability to tap into our mental plane and bring whatever beautiful brilliance is going on up there to life through the earth energy of Capricorn. Not even to mention that Mercury being in Capricorn energy is the great manifesting energy of the zodiac. Yes, okay, we had to go through a retrograde where we had to look back and reflect and revise and reprocess and redo some things. But now we have Mercury, the mental plane, the information, the details, the communication, and we have Mars, physical action, passion, desire, motivation, moving together in tandem to make up for some lost time, to bring some ideas to life, to focus and redefine our path moving forward. And we are going to get a very small but very opportunistic time to see a lot of progress in a short amount of time. Now, if you listen to the January energy forecast that I put out, you would know that we're only going to get the sudden burst of energy and then it's going to fizzle out. If you've listened to the 2023 energy forecast for the whole entire year, you would know that we're really, in this point in time in the calendar and in the season and the cycle, we're really not supposed to be taking action. This is a time of rest. This is a time of rejuvenation. You know, we're in our darkness, we're in our winter season as we approach the brand new astrological calendar when Aries season begins in March. And so, you know, we're really not in a time where we should be exerting a whole lot of energy, where we should be starting something new, where we should be out in the world, you know, pursuing our dreams and making things happen. We're really not in a supportive or encouraging time for that. However, Mars and Mercury have other plans, and Uranus will be going direct later in the month as well. And that is a sudden shift. That is unexpected events. That is seeing a jolt of energy really kind of shock us, spark new ideas, new inspirations, and have us moving very, very quickly at an accelerated rate in this very small window of time, to create new things, to clean up elements of the past, to redefine our goals, to realign ourselves with a new path, direction, choice, decision. We got a lot going on. But just keep in mind that, you know, coming out of a retrograde, that's great. It's going to take us a little bit of time to acclimatize, if you will, to the energy of moving forward. But Mars is going to be in the post shadow period, if you will, up until March 15th. And that means that we're going to be a little bit sporadic with our energy. It's going to be a lot of stop and go. It's going to be a lot of hurry up and wait. And we are going to have to be kind of patient, which Mars isn't a huge fan of. Keep in mind that there's going to be a huge test in energy management, a huge test in our impulse control with Mars actually moving forward. But you know what? I think that it's time that we, you know, move through those particular tests and cycles, because it has been a very exhausting time for Mars to be retrograde. And I think that we're all ready for some kind of change. So, you know, hopefully we would have taken the time, like I had mentioned, to kind of reassess and reflect and, you know, realign and recalibrate with, you know, the projects that we actually care about, with our method, with our strategy on how it is that we're going to move forward in pursuit of happiness or new passions or new desires. It should put us on a very powerful path to make up for some lost time, to make up for seeing a lot of progress in a short amount of time before the energy falls out of the universe again, and then we're stalled out until we actually enter into the new astrological calendar. So what do we need to do? Well, first of all, we need to be consciously aware that this shift is taking place. We need to pump the brakes when we feel ourselves getting a little bit manic, a little bit aggressive, a little bit assertive, trying to go out in the world and just, you know, be very crazy trying to make things happen for us. We have to slow our roll. We have to take our time, because again, Mars's biggest downfall is that we jump into something, we go balls to the walls, and then we burn ourselves out long before we even see the end goal. And you know what? We're in too pivotal of a time right now in rebuilding our realities in order to take the chance of actually not succeeding. So we do have to pace ourselves. We have to give ourselves a gentle reminder, a gentle ease, if you will, on how to have energy, how to be motivated, how to pursue the things that we actually want, need, and desire. And this is like, when you decide to like start working out again, you got to do it gently or else you're not going to be able to move the next day. And the biggest, deterrent of starting a new workout program is feeling sore as F and not being able to move the next day. So we want to gracefully ease into this forward movement, if you will. We are rebuilding, redefining, recalibrating, realigning with our confidence, with our positivity, with our motivation, with our determination to actually get things done. We're going to be gaining a lot of clarity over the next week or so, especially once Mercury goes direct, on what it is that we actually want to do with ourselves. Where do we want to direct our energy? What makes us excited? What do we feel a calling to pursue at this point in time? We're going to be gaining a lot of insight, a lot of perspective, and we're going to have to get up and go to actually go ahead and actually pursue it.